Piatti was a great cellist at a time when the cello was just emerging as a possible solo instrument, as a possible instrument that could play with the virtuosity of the violin or the viola. Prior to that, the cello was really relegated to being a pretty simple bass instrument. Piatti became really the great virtuoso cellist of his time. And in order to have music to play which would suit his possibilities, he wrote it himself. He wrote mostly for the cello, concerti, sonatas, etudes, and even a book to learn how to play the cello. And this particular piece is a duet for two celli. It's short, 8 or 10 minutes, and requires the kind of virtuosity that you would expect from two violins playing. It's very flashy. It's very vocal, I would say almost operatic, and features the cello leaping and bounding to its limits, including a huge cadenza just before the end of the piece. It's charming, elegant, and a great way to open a program. Following that, we have what should come after such a light opening, and that is a very dramatic and serious piece by Beethoven. This is his Violin Sonata number 7 in C minor, and there is significance to the C minor because in the time when composers wrote in tonalities, in keys, key signatures were very important in the way that every single composer would relate to them. In Beethoven's case, the key of C minor always elicited a very specific kind of music, which was dark, dramatic, extreme in its emotional content, sometimes even angry. And this sonata is quite a great example of all of those qualities. The first movement could really be a gigantic symphony. The slow movement is one of the more beautiful adagios and lyrical pieces of Beethoven altogether. It's quite a massive slow movement, followed by a lively scherzo, and then returning in the last movement to the kind of drama and flash of the first movement, and ending with a rigorous, emphatic, and lively conclusion. It's very difficult for both the piano and the violin, and in this case, we're extremely lucky to have the kind of players that can handle it. In the second half of our program, we have something completely different, which is as it should be, and that is the great and wonderful piano trio by Dvořák, which has become known as the Dumky Trio. What is a Dumky? This is a form which actually originates from Ukrainian folk music. And the Ukrainian folk music from which it comes is always twofold. There is always a kind of slow, melancholic, sad part, followed by a very fast and exuberant part. In the case of this trio, Dvořák actually abandoned the classical form of trios or symphonies, having four movements with a beginning movement and a slow movement and a trio and a finale. And he went instead to a very original form, which consists of 6 movements, each of which is a dumka. And what that means is each of these 6 movements individually begins with a slow, sad, melancholy perhaps, section followed by a fast section. In many of the movements, there are multiples of this, but the overall sense is always of this back and forth between the melancholy and the energetic, exuberant. With his incredible gift for melody and sense of melancholy, Dvořák found the perfect form to bring out all of his greatness, and this is a magnificent piece to end our program.